Hi there, I want to talk to you about how incredibly easy it is to do a word study with Logos. And so what you do is you open up your English Bible and maybe you also open up your Greek Bible. And let's say you want to look up this word justified. And so you can look it up either in the English or you'll see it's also highlighted over here in the Greek. And all you have to do is you simply highlight over the word and you right click, and this is going to pick up an entire menu. And so once you do this, then you select the Bible Word Study option. What this does is it's going to show you this word, the dikaio, in Greek, but it's also going to show you all the different ways that it's translated in all the passages in Scripture. If you pick a part of the circle that you want to look at all these words, it will show up below. And so just clicking on different parts of circles is going to show you all the different ways that this word is translated. It also shows you how many times, 2 out of the 54 usages in this whole range. Now, this is all the passages in the Old Testament and the New Testament, in the Greek version, the Old Testament, Greek version, the New Testament. But let's say you want to just look at the New Testament. Where does this word actually show up in the New Testament? And so you do this, and suddenly you discover there's 39 usages. 31 of the 39 usages it's justified. But let's say you want to get this a little bit narrower and you want to look at Paul's writings. So you can just skim through here and you'll find that you can look through all of Paul's writings as well. And you discover how this word is used in Paul. And so just by clicking on the parts of Paul, there's 27 usages of this word in Paul. So this is a really nice way. The translation circle really helps you to get into looking at context quickly. You can jump immediately to the passage by clicking on the hyperlink of the verse as well. So another really important part is this lemma. And so here in the lemma feature, what you're going to discover is this is where all of your Greek or Hebrew dictionaries show up. And so what you find is a basic listing. I'm going to click on this more. Now, in my case, I've got a lot more tools that are available because I've bought a lot more resources in my Logos. But for you, you're going to have a limited number that are still important. So some of the ones that you want to look at are the Theological Dictionary in the New Testament. This is the Big Kittle. Liddell Scott Jones, you probably also have that. You might also have Louw-Nida. And you have the Theological Lexicon in the New Testament. Here's also the Little Kittle, the TDNTA. And so what happens here is if you click on any of these, it will jump immediately to that section in that dictionary. So this is the Liddell Scott Jones Greek English Dictionary, and you'll see the entry here for the word, and you're going to find all the ways that this word is used, whether it's set right, hold right, do man right, and it's a short entry, and it's going to give you all the passages where this shows up. It's going to give you a lot of secondary literature. That's what some of these other abbreviations are. Don't worry, if you highlight over them, you can find out what it is that they're talking about. This is Herodotus, for example. And so you can just look to see what that is. Now, maybe you want to look at your TDNT. And so here you're going to get a full entry. And what's nice with TDNT, it's a more robust article entry. It's not just going to give that one word, the dikaio, but it's going to give the entire family of words related to that. So you get to see in this box the entire family of words. Now maybe you're thinking, I can't really read Greek that well, and so that's maybe a little bit difficult. So maybe you'll use this TDNTA, the little kittle. And what's nice here is it actually transliterates all this for you into English. And so again, it's that same family of words, and this is a little bit simpler, shorter article entry based on that larger version from the bigger version of Kittle, which is 5 volumes. This is a 1-volume TDNTA. This is Big Kittle versus Little Kittle. Or maybe you go, I'm going to look at the Theological Lexicon in the New Testament. So again, this is going to give you the entire word family. It's going to give you cross-references in other dictionaries, TD&T's reference here. This is also the the Exegetical Dictionary in the New Testament, if you have that, or the New International Dictionary of New Testament Theology, which is also really nice. And so again, this is going to give you some English transliterations of this as well. And so what this does is simply by starting with your English word and right-clicking on it, here you were able to dig in really quickly, really deeply with a word study, not just by only looking at the usages, the translations here in the NRSV, but also by looking at how these are entered into the various dictionaries under this lemma section. You're going to have a lot of other great information. You can look at how the Septuagint, which is the Greek Old Testament, translates this. Um, and you're going to be able to look at a lot of other versions of this and how this is used. And so here it is. Here's the Septuagint. This is nice because it starts to show you the equivalent Hebrew words as well when you get to Septuagint translations. It's going to give you just all sorts of information just at your fingertips simply by starting with this right click and sending you into a word study. You can do this with any word that you see here. And so you could look at hope, let's say. And so I could do this one, Bible word study. And again, this is going to give you all the ways that el peace or hope is translated. You're going to get all the usages with the lemmas. And so this is just really a fantastic tool for doing word studies to do things really quickly. If you wanted to just jump into your dictionaries right away, an alternative is to do your power lookup. And so rather than doing the Bible word study, you could do a power lookup. And what's nice here with the power lookup is you do that and all your information is going to show up here on the right shortly with your list of resources. One other thing I should mention is you're going to see here that we have a few things that you can highlight, whether it's the lemma, which is the basic word, or the root. What you want to be looking up is you want to be making sure that you're highlighted on the lemmas. When you do the roots, you're going to get just a little bit different information on it as well. So sometimes you might have to check that out to make sure that you've got the right thing highlighted. You've also got the Strong's numbers listed here, the Louw-Nida number listed here. And so this is just a great resource to help you quickly dig in to do word studies by just right clicking. The other thing you can do to make a more robust word study is maybe you might want to look up the concept. So with righteousness, you might look up in something like your Dictionary of Biblical Imagery. And you might look up an entry on something like righteousness to see what this concept is in, or justification, here in the actual letter. And so here you're going to get a little bit more information. It's saying in justification that you should go look up Paul's letter to the Romans. So sometimes in some of these Bible dictionaries, you'll find entries that will be helpful for you to see whether you got something. So here's hope. You've got a more full entry. And so you can be looking at the wider concepts to help round out your word studies. The final thing you can do to round up your word studies is you can actually look it up in your commentaries. So if you were to look this up in your Cornerstone commentary or your Tyndale commentaries, for example, they will have more entries to tell you a little bit more information about these words as you look at the specific passages. The first step for word study is to look at the Greek and English equivalent words, which is what you get here. And if you're not sure what this looks like, you can do an interlinear search. So here with your, this is by doing the Greek and Hebrew here. And so here you get the Greek and English showing up side by side. The second step is that you will look at the various passages in the wider context when you look at the translation here. And then the third step is that you want to actually look up these words in the actual dictionaries. And so this will really help you get a fuller understanding of how words work in word studies. Logos is a great, quick, powerful tool to help you do this. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun doing this and really enjoy it.